As already seen from the positions of economists in that background, it may just be the beginning of another lengthy waiting game between the National Assembly and the Executive. I'm being joined on the news at 10 by an expert in fiscal governance, Mr. Izzy Onyekbiri. Thank you, Mr. Onyekbiri, for joining us.
A pleasure.
Now, the President was supposed to present the 2014 budget today at the National Assembly. This did not happen. Yeah, this is the second time he was supposed to present. That did not happen. And he said he cannot present the budget without both houses of the National Assembly passing the MTF. Do you agree with the President's position as regards presenting the budget?
Well, first of all, you must have to look at the law that proposes the presentation of an MTF and its approval by the National Assembly. The law was clear that the MTF was supposed to be ready by the end of the second quarter for the consideration and endorsement of the Federal Executive Council. And the implication was that that MTF should have gotten to the National Assembly before they proceeded on their midterm break in July. And so, more or less, they should have started considering it. And before the MTF was supposed to be ready, the Minister of Finance was supposed to have consulted the National Assembly on such issues as the benchmark price. But reducing the MTF to simply the conception of the benchmark price of crude oil is not something contemplated by the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Already the budget is ready. The budget has been prepared without approval of the MTF by the National Assembly as stipulated by law. So we are talking of presentation. So nobody is fool. Between the executive and the legislature, they are punching the air, they are playing politics. And they are playing politics with the lives of Nigerians, the needs of the popular masses of the majority of Nigerians. So what I had expected was that the President should have presented the budget, and then the National Assembly in due course will resolve whatever is the difference between them. Let's remember what happened last year. They were talking about the benchmark price of crude oil as if to say it was a major issue. But as history and as the living experience tells us, that's not the issue in Nigeria today. The issue is that we budgeted at about 2.5 something million barrels a day. But we are losing 600,000 barrels a day. So the money is not coming in. The money is not adding up. So whatever you put at the benchmark price of crude oil, in as much as it's still a difference of $4-5, is not the problem. It's whether the President and the legislature are men and women enough to police the production of crude oil up to the point it's sold and revenue gets into the Federal Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation or the Federation account for sharing to the three tiers of government.
Now, most Nigerians were hoping for a free, a speedy debate. From all indications, is this likely?
Now, how can you have a speedy debate when the preparation was not speedy? The preparation, first of all, has to be speedy in accordance with the law, which hasn't happened. And then you don't expect the National Assembly to rush a budget within a month or two. So if they take their time, present it maybe first week of December, don't expect it out until the end of the first quarter. You know, it's garbage in, garbage out. The slowness of the time in coming in should also tell you how slow it will be in coming out. So I'm reaffirming that what is happening is that both the executive and the legislature have abandoned what they were elected to do and pursuing shadow boxing. And that's politics from behind. But what you see are issues counting sheer legalese and sheer economic terms. But what we have is shadow political boxing going on behind, which is the real issue. Why I'm saying they've abandoned the interests of the people.
Now, must the budget be based on changing indices like oil benchmarks?
No, the question is not about whether indices should change or not. It's about whether the macroeconomic fundamentals are changing. If the macroeconomic fundamentals are changing, inflation is changing, exchange rate is changing, the economic situations in the countries like the United States, the European region, top Asian countries are changing, then the macroeconomic indicators, the basic fundamentals, including the benchmark price, may have to change. The monetary policy issues may also have to change. So what we are seeing is our inability to effectively manage our situation within the confines of a changing world. So I'm saying it's not what happened last year that should guide us. Yeah. But if that should be a guide, we are witnessing a scenario of some level of insanity. Insanity is not when a man or woman removes his dress and jumps into the marketplace naked. You ought to learn from the history, from experience. So what we are saying in essence is that since the executive and the legislature did not learn from what happened last year, there's some form of insanity going on.
Now, right now, there are two benchmark prices floating around. The Senate, $76.50, and the House, $79. Now, these two positions have varying arguments. Looking at the arguments pushing both prices, which are you more inclined to?
I'm not more inclined to anyone, because I'm saying these are not the issues. The issue is, even if you make it 75 or 80, and like today, the crude oil sells over $108 to $109 per barrel. The important thing is to make sure that the crude oil is not stolen in the first place, so that the money will come in.
Leakages.
And so, if we are not getting the money in, even if you fix it at 100 and it sells at 150, it doesn't make sense. So let's plug the leakages first. The difference between 76.5 and 79 or 80 is minimal.
So plug the leakages. How do we plug these leakages?
We have a president and commander-in-chief. He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, the army, the air force, the navy, civil defense, police, SSS, national, just name it. So he should do his job. He should do his job. He should police our borders. He should make sure that our oil is not stolen. That's his job. That's why we elected him.
Thank you very, very much, Eze Onyekwere, for joining us in the studios today. And that's all we have from the nation's capital. Back to our Lagos studios, where Ijoma Onyato is waiting.
Well, thanks a lot, Linda. That's Linda Akigbe live there in the nation's capital, Abuja. She's been taking a look at the delay in the budget presentation for 2014.